Hello and welcome to episode 35 of the Kingfisher Knits podcast. My name is Madeleine and I'm talking to you from my home in Zurich, where I live with my husband and our 3 children. So our third child arrived 3.5 weeks ago now. This is my first podcast since his arrival, and you may notice I'm a little bit more pale and interesting than usual, but hey, that's life with 3 kids and a newborn, and mummy doesn't have time for makeup, and that's fine with me. So what I did want to start the episode out with was the giveaway, which was set up last episode. So in episode 34, I decided to do my, I kind of call it my 1,000 subscribers giveaway, although I hadn't actually hit 1,000 subscribers yet. I have since hit 1,000 subscribers. So the yarn for the giveaway was 2 beautiful skeins of the Lana Rara Rare Swiss Wool from here in Switzerland, which was donated to the podcast when I went to visit the Neustadtgasse 13, Neustadtgasse 13 store in Winterthur, which is a town not that far away from Zurich. Thank you very much for that kind donation. I haven't got the 2 skeins with me here now actually, but there was one grey skein and one beautiful red, slightly burgundy-ish red. Anyway, I have drawn for the winner, and the winner is Valeria Faber. Valeria, I believe that you're in Italy. That's what you say in your comment, and I think I know who you are. But sometimes it's tricky actually when you do giveaways on YouTube, because you're familiar with people's Instagram or Ravelry names. Anyway, so Valeria, would you please get in contact with me? You can send me a message on Ravelry or on Instagram. I'm Madeleine Windsor on Ravelry, Kingfisher Knits on Instagram. Anyway, the links are always on where to find me, are just down below this video in the description box on YouTube, and there's the links also to my website and our Ravelry group, etc. When you get in contact with me, then I can get your details and send out your prize to you. Thank you very much. Another piece of admin that I wanted to mention is that I had said that we will be winding up the mixed bases cal, so I think I'm going to go ahead and close the threads for that very soon, and I will sort out some prizes to talk about on the next episode. Okay, if you can hear googling and gargling away, that is my baby. I hope that it's not too distracting, and of course I will edit out any cries. Okay, so as I said, down below in the description box below this is where you find the links, but this is also where you find the show notes, so the links to everything that I talk about. Okay, I managed to say that. What I didn't manage to say and should have said first was welcome back to any returning viewers. Thank you very much for coming back to watch another episode. I know that there's been a long gap, but hey, I was very pregnant and then I had a baby, so that's life. And if this is the first time that you're checking me out, thank you so much. I think this episode will be, I'll try and keep it as normal as possible, but it might not be the most representative because I may have to cut it short with baby and the like. So perhaps you want to go and check out another episode before deciding if you like me or not. Alright, so I usually start out with whips, and that's what I'm going to do. I've just realised I've left a whip over there, so I'm going to go grab that. The first whip that I would like to talk about is my Birkin sweater. The Birkin sweater is a design by Caitlin Hunter. It first appeared in Liner magazine, issue 2. It is now available for individual purchase. It is a beautiful top-down yoke sweater, colourwork yoke, and I am using yarn from JC Rennie, and I have finished the body. Oh, and it's all got tied up. Okay. So first I'll show, and then I'll talk a little bit about it. So, what I have to say about this, so the yarn is JC Rennie. It is the super soft 4-ply. and I'll just tell you the colours now before I forget. The main colour I'm using here is called Tusk, the green is Calypso, the pink is Cottage, and the blue is Duck Egg. I spoke quite extensively on my last episode about the modifications which I planned to make to the yoke, so I'm not going to repeat too much about that. What I am going to say is just that in the yoke there are, in the original design, there are 3 colours in the flower, so here I've got 3 contrast colours. There are 4 in total because there are 3 in the parts where you have the flowers in the original design, so I modified mine to just have 2, and I also modified the yoke design so that there were no rows or rounds where you use 3 colours. I only wanted to use 2 colours per round, so it does look a bit different. It's also not blocked, so it's not looking hopefully as good as it will look once it is blocked. The other modifications I made were for size, so this is a pretty long yoke which by the original design does not have increases at all in this whole floral section, so I changed that. And I have tried it on and it seems to fit pretty well. What happened though was I ended up with a very long yoke, so you're meant to separate after you finish this final colour work, and and she tells you the length of the yoke that you should have, and I was already at that length or beyond that length once I got to the end of the pink flowers. So I was in 2 minds about it. I knew I did not want a really long yoke, which would end up being restrictive, and would mean that all the work I went to make the yoke better fitting for me would be wasted. So I thought about it. I thought about not doing any leaves at the bottom at all, and in the end I decided to separate for the sleeves and then do the leaves afterwards. And my plan is to still do the leaves on the sleeves. That rhymes. But I think I'm going to at least try it and see how it looks. Otherwise, I don't think that it would look too strange if you only had the leaves on the body and you didn't have the leaves on the sleeves. We'll see. Another modification that I made is that I decided to have more stitches. When I separated the sleeves, to have more stitches on the front than the back. That's because on the front, I kind of have a narrow, smallish back, so I always find that normal yoke sweaters end up being like really quite baggy on my back, and I don't like that. And some of them I've modified them by putting fewer stitches on the back and also doing some decreases, but I wanted this to be a straight down body. I didn't want to have to think about putting in too many decreases there, so I just decided to put more stitches on the front, and that also works because you have your chest, and I hope it's going to work out. I mean, it's going to be sort of have a bit of a relaxed fit, but I just hope that it will mean that the back doesn't look too baggy. This is my first ever split hem, so I did it according to the pattern in terms of my overall length, and you have a shorter section of ribbing at the front than at the back, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks. Obviously it's not blocked yet, it will look a bit less crinkly and smoother and nicer once it is blocked. So I will move on to the sleeves at some point, given the fact that it immediately starts with colour work, and I just haven't had a huge amount of brain space recently. I just haven't picked that up yet. Also because that's not part of the pattern. On the pattern, you're meant to have finished the leaves and then separate for the sleeves, and there would be no colour work. So I do have to engage my brain when I repick that up again. Although I have made notes. Okay, so that is my Birkin sweater. The second whip that I wanted to talk to you about, where is it? Is my sock whip. Lean over. So I cast on this sock it's nice to always have a sock on the needles. I don't have very strong sock knitting mojo in general. I don't knit multiple pairs of socks a year, but I do knit. I do typically have a sock project on the needles, and I wanted to have an easy project that was my go around knitting and also to bring to the hospital. And I did actually finish the first sock of this pair in the hospital. So this is, I did a top-down sock. It's 56 stitches. This is my first ever attempt, it's not this hard, first ever ribbed sock. I've done vanilla socks, so all stocking stitch, and I've done pattern socks in the past, but I've never just done a rib sock. I kind of thought it would be really boring, and that's why I've done a pretty wide rib. It's 6 by 1, so 6 knit stitches and 1 purl. But I wanted to give it a go because I know that it probably is going to fit better. And I wanted to see if already a 6 by 1 was enough to be a better fitting sock. And it seems that it is. It's a really lovely, lovely fitting sock. I'm so happy with it. So I did do, I actually cast on 57 stitches, and I did a 2 by 1 rib, and then I have to decrease 1 to 56, which is needed for the 7 stitch repeat. You can see down here I have a mini heel flap adjustment that is a la Knitting Expat Mina. If you want to check that out, she has that in her sock patterns. I have a German short row heel, and then I just did stocking stitch under the foot and carried on the rib on the top of the foot. This yarn is opal yarn. This is called from the Moments of range, and this particular colour is Moments of Truth. It does have a number associated with it, which is 9085. I really like the opal sock yarn, and I have finally yesterday cast on for the second sock. I finished the rib and the cuff ribbing and just started on the actual leg of the sock. So not much more to say about that really. I'm using my ChiaoGoo red lace mini twists, which are my absolute favourite sock needle and favourite magic loop needle. Yeah, in 2.25. So plop that over there. I'm going to try and not go through things too slowly so that I manage to have time to record most of what I wanted to record before baby wakes up. Okay, my next whip is living in my beautiful periodic table project bag, which is from Serial Crafter on Etsy. She is my friend Philippa. So I'm going to take out this pattern without flashing the chart because that's the page I have it open. So I have cast on for the Parisian Dreams sweater from by Mina of the Knitting Expat, and I think there's a picture here which shows better, a little bit better, the overall sweater. I think I can show you this one because this is just the what you need page, and you can see there. That's the sweater. So it's bottom up. It has this beautiful twisted stitch, lace and cable design. It has a drop shoulder, and yeah, I thought it was beautiful since I first saw her making it, and I think I bought it when she released the pattern and had a discount. And I am using my yarn, my precious yarn that I bought when I went to Barcelona Knits Festival. I bought 4 skeins of the La Bien-Aimée Merino Sport. So this is a fingering weight pattern, but I have to say that this yarn is very much, it's a very tightly twisted yarn. So it's like a plump fingering, or and they calling it a sport. It has, you know, lower yardage than their fingering weight bases. I just love the twist on it. I thought it would have wonderful stitch definition, and I was confident that I would get the correct gauge, which I did. I did do a little gauge swatch. I did do my gauge swatch in the round, and then I just cut it after I blocked it. It will unravel though if I'm not careful. But anyway, I just think it's such a beautiful, beautiful yarn. So just to tell you so you get 325 meters for 100 grams. So it, you know, it is like the put up of a sport weight, but it's not a very plump sport weight. It's quite a fine yarn. And the colorway is Vespa Graffiti. I am alternating skeins, so I have 4 skeins in total of this, which should be enough. And so I'm alternating 2 skeins for now, these 2 skeins. And I haven't done a whole lot. I cast this on my due date. And in the end, little baby, he only arrived, how many days late was he now? He was 3 days late. So I didn't get a whole lot done. And given that there is lace and following a chart involved, it's not something I knit on a huge amount, or I mean I am knitting on it, but I'm doing like 1 round, so I don't have a lot of extended time to sit down and make progress. But here we are. I'm using my high sharps. I opted for my sharps because there are a fair few twisted stitches and decreases in the lace, so I just thought it would be easier. I am using 3.5mm needles, and I can show you the yarn knitting up, especially in the stocking stitch. It's beautiful. So it starts off with twisted rib, and then this is the back, and the front has the lace on. I'm not going to be able to show it too well because I don't want to obviously pull my stitches all off the needles. But I'm more than halfway through one repeat of the lace chart. So the charts actually started down here with these yarn overs, and yeah, it's very enjoyable knit. I do like how you have, you know, half the sweater you're sort of concentrating and looking at the chart, and then you just have, you know, the other half is just stocking stitch. You just get back round to the beginning of the round. I'm finding it very enjoyable. I just know it'll probably, at the moment, with the kind of knitting that I can focus on, it'll just take me longer than it would have otherwise. I don't remember now which size I'm knitting. I'm hoping I marked it down somewhere, but I don't seem to have highlighted it here, so we'll have to see. Presumably I'm knitting size 2, because that is a finished bust size of 39 inches, which would give me a bit of positive ease, but not too much. All right, I'm just gonna pop that back in there. And I have one more whip to show you. So, for a long time now, I have wanted to do a shawl design with 3 gorgeous skeins that I was given by Jane of Family Tree Yarns. I actually received these skeins back in May, just literally before I found out that I was pregnant and then started feeling very sick. Anyway, it's something that I just, you know, it happens. Life happens. You can't always do everything like you thought you were going to be able to do. And I told Jane that, and she was absolutely fine about it, but I still feel a bit bad about it. Anyway, so the 3 skeins that I am using are all on 100% superwash merino DK. And these have, just double checking, 250 meters for 100 grams. And she had posted pictures on Fingering Weight back, you know, last year of these 3 skeins together. I love the colors, and I asked if she could do them on DK. So we have this glorious speckled skein. You can see I've already used most of it. This was called, I believe, I actually mixed up the labels, but I believe this is called Silver Queen. And this one is called Grey Joy. It's just beautiful, soft, pale tonal grey. Really, really love this grey. And this is Pink Letter. So these are the 3 skeins that I'm using of DK, and I'm doing a top-down triangular shawl, classic shape, which is actually something I've never designed or knit, because I have knit top-down triangular shawls, but not with the totally classic shape. It's a bit of a mess because I keep meaning to weave in my ends, but I haven't, so I've got a few ends on the sides here. It's going to be tricky to show off because it's already big enough that I can't stretch it out on my needle, but I'm going to do my best. So it starts off up here at the top, and I'm using that speckled colour, and then I have I think very effective, but I can tell you incredibly simple lace. Let me get those ends out the way. And then again I have garter in the speckled colour, and now I'm on to the same lace in the grey. So you'll see how it develops. It's right now it's sort of predictable, but then it's going to change up again for the last part. So I'm enjoying this very, very much, and I'm probably about a third of the way through, maybe not quite. So that's all I'm going to say about it for now. I don't know how long it's going to take me. Not setting myself a deadline with this one. I am, you know, in a busy time of life right now with new baby. So that is all of my whips, and now I'm going to get on to some FOs. I think I have 2 or maybe 3. I have 3 FOs to show you. I have 4 FOs to show you. The first one is the smallest one and the one I made the quickest. So This is the Beloved bonnet. I think it's just called Beloved by Tin Can Knits. And I knit this in the newborn size. It's a tiny bit bigger than the newborn size just because gauge was slightly off for the baby, and it was done before he arrived. You can see here the shaping. So this is actually knit from the end of one I-cord all the way up this way, back down the other side, and you finish with the other I-cord. So it's quite fun construction, and I think it makes it quite interesting the whole time that you're making it. It is designed for, I think they say DK weight or fingering weight held double. So I have held fingering weight double, but the fingering weight that I used was quite plump. So I think I ended up with, really quite like a generous worsted weight kind of yarn more. But I'm very happy about it. It's cold. It's February. Well, actually, it's now March. That's scary. So I'm really happy with it. This yarn is yarn that I picked up on a destash from a friend, and I don't have the tag anymore. What I remember is it was Nurturing Fibers. It was 100% superwash merino. It had a yardage more like 350, so it was a plumper yarn in a 100-gram skein, and the colourway was called Bitter Chocolate. What I don't remember is the name of the base, but I do have it in my stash, so I will link to my project page, and that will have it. Does say which yarn was used, so you can check it out if you're interested. So yeah, really I'm happy with this. We've been using it every time that he's been out. He's worn this, and it's just a tiny bit big, which is perfect because it means it will last a little bit longer. So yeah, one very cute little baby bonnet. My other FO that I have in front of me here is another hat. This is my drummer she hat. That is just how I pronounce it. And I showed this to you last time when it was before I had joined the two parts. I mean, the knitting was already joined, but you have to go back to the other episode because now that it's all constructed, I can't explain myself very clearly. But before I knit together the lace mohair lace part and the fingering weight liner, and then knit the brim to finish it off. So I showed that to you last time when it was under construction, and now it's finished. And you can see there at the top you have this swell, so actually if I push it open you can see that my hand can just go straight through there, but when you wear it that pulls tight and you don't have a visible gap, you don't feel any gap, and you have a really beautiful effect there. And this was made, so the lace weight yarn is a mohair silk. It is a 60/40 mohair silk from Ito Sensei. It's Ito Sensei yarn in the snow grey colourway. And the yarn that I used for the fingering weight, so which is on the inside and makes up the brim, that is the Plucky Knitter in the Primo Fingering, which is an MCN, Merino Cashmere Nylon blend. And this colourway, which is showing up pretty true, is called Peninsula. I can put it on for you. Not that I don't really think I suit hats. I wear hats because I like to have my head warm. But anyway, there. Can you see it? Hopefully you can see that nicely. I really love the effect. I think it's a beautiful hat. What I will say is that, so with where the mohair is, it's definitely a warm hat. And it does come down nicely over my ears. Of course, the ear, over like the bottom part of the ears, is just the fingering weight. And that means that it's not quite as warm as here. There are some people who like their ears not to be too warm, but still want their head warm. And this would be absolutely perfect. It just means it's not a hat that I can wear when it's on like really cold days. But it's still a hat that I've worn a lot since the moment I finished it. I didn't say, sorry, that is a design by Emily Williams. I will link my project page, which is linked to everything, down below. Then I finished an object which has been on the needles for a disgraceful amount of time because I totally lost steam on it. I actually am going to take a second to pull up the details so that, because it's so long ago, I don't remember correctly the name of the designer or what the actual name of the design was. So I just want to make sure that I pull that up so that I don't say anything wrong. Okay, so this is a pattern by KNITCRATE, and it was called Rainy Season. So I knit their mitts, and I'll show them to you this way so you can see the pattern. Now this blue is getting totally blown out. It's not that bright. I mean the variegation and tonality is correct, but it's much deeper, a much deeper yarn, much deeper colour. Yeah, it's more like that. Is the correct, but I've showed it to you up close so that you can see the design. So this yarn is Dream in Colour. What's it called, that base? It's the one with cashmere. Let me see. Dream in Colour Smooshy with cashmere in the dark currant colourway. This was the first ever expensive skein of yarn I ever bought. So like, you know, hand dyed, high quality content, fibre content yarn. So this is one of the mitts. This is a bit of a weirdly constructed mitt, and I have to say that probably once I'd made one, I was kind of like, oh, okay, cool, that's fun, but I just lost interest. So it's actually made top down. So you start up here, get down to here, then you also need to make your thumb down to here, then you join them, and then you make your gusset, and then you finish down here with your cuff. In the original design, the cuff is knit much longer, and this was also designed for a gradient yarn. So there are sort of specific instructions within that so that you make the most of your gradient effect. And they're beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with it. In this yarn, you don't see so well this raindrop effect, which is done by making longer wrapped stitches, which are then slipped. You see them better actually by eye. What I did do, which isn't in the pattern, is I cast off with a 2x2 tubular bind off. Which again, this yarn is so dark, you're not really seeing the benefit of that, but by eye you can see that it's a very beautiful edge. The yarn feels beautiful. It is a very, it's quite a fine yarn, and it had a lot of dye on it. So when I was knitting with it, the dye was coming off on my hands. I could feel like it like left some kind of residue on my hand. Also, like I could feel that there was some substance there, which wasn't very nice. Of course, when I washed them and blocked them, a lot of the water was very, very dark. They're also a bit too big for my hands, so I'm going to be giving them away. And because I knit, it took me so long to finish the second one, my gauge is slightly different on the second one. So we all know you shouldn't leave things that long. I don't know when I cast these on. It was a really, really long time ago. No, it doesn't say here when I cast it on. Project page was created February 2017. So it took me the best part of 2 years to finish these. I still have yarn left over. To be honest, I don't know what to do with it because I know that it releases so much dye. I can't really put it together with something else. I wouldn't give it to somebody as minis for like a swap or to put in scrap blankets. So I'm just going to see if I think I've got enough to maybe, perhaps I could make a baby hat with it or try and make something with it, but keep it by itself. It's gorgeous. I love, this is, you know, it's the very first expensive skein of yarn that I ever bought was of course in these colours because these are colours that I love. But yeah, I mean, these were a learning experience for me, and I've come a long way since I cast them on, let's put it that way. The pattern actually came as part of a collaboration between KNITCRATE and another designer. She does this kind of collaboration. I think Paper Daisy Creations was the other designer, and they kind of bounce off of each other and have different, they both have to work to some kind of brief, either with a yarn or something, or a stitch pattern, and then they each come up with their own design. So this was just one design in that collection, though I believe you can buy it separately now. Very, very well written patterns. That's at least the ones that I looked at were very, very well thought out, beautifully laid out, and with a lot of information. So the fact that I took forever to finish these has nothing to do with the pattern. I think it has a lot to do with the yarn and my just losing steam and putting it away. Okay. I have one more finished object, and that is my Serafina top. I would like to be modelling this for you today, but the fact of the matter is, while it doesn't look bad on me, I made this for my non-breastfeeding chest size, and I'm someone who has quite a big difference in chest size when I'm breastfeeding and when I'm not breastfeeding, and so I'm not going to try it on for you right now, but here it is. I'm just going to hold it up. I am like really happy with this. I think it's one of the most sort of beautifully made, beautifully finished things I've ever made, and to be honest, the credit is all to the designer. So the designer is, she's Eden Design. Her name is Irina, and her surname I always like mispronounce, Anakeva. Anyway, Eden Design. Everything will be linked down below. She is a very, very classy designer. She designs things which look beautiful, which are finished beautifully, which are beautifully thought out. She's really an ace designer, and so you know, although she did say things like the tubular bind off was optional, I went for it. So I did it on all the edges. So the first edge you bind off actually is the bottom, because this is top down, and then you pick up for the neckband and the cuffs. So this was a lot of stitches to, it's all twisted rib, all of the ribbing, and there's a tubular bind off, which is just stunning. I've actually shown this to you before, because I had finished the body before. And I'm just so glad that I did do all of those details, because this just raises this to, it doesn't mean I'm always going to do these things, but it raises this whole project to another level for me. So yeah, I have now finished. When I last showed it to you, I had finished the body, but I hadn't yet picked up for any of these little cuffs here or the neckband here. I also really love the neckline that you get with this design. While you're not seeing it here, it's looking like the front and back are the same. The back is actually higher, so a bit longer there. So actually when you wear it, it's because of how I'm holding the saddles. The saddles are a bit more forward like this, and the garment sits a bit more like that. Anyway, the yarn that I used was Sidi Spint, which is from here in Switzerland. She's based in Bern, although she has a website. This is her merino cable yarn, which is a sport weight yarn, and this is in the natural undyed colour and the Stein colour here, which is this beautiful tonal grey. So I used quite a bit of 3 skeins for the grey, and I used more than half a skein of the undyed natural white. What I wanted to say is just that in the original design it's all knit in one colour. I just chose to, I originally decided that I was going to do the lace in the white, but I thought I would do everything else in the grey. And then I saw someone else had done a project on Ravelry where they had also done a different colour for the lace saddles, and they had used that same colour for the ribbing, which touched the saddles but not down here. And I really liked how that looked, and I'm really glad that I did that. I think it ties in the use of the white up at the top really, really well. Yeah, this was really a pleasure to knit. The sort of more complex stuff was all at the beginning, because you start by making these saddle panels, then you have to make up all of these bits, you know, casting on, creating the front, creating the back, eventually joining in the round, and then this was pretty simple, and then you have to just go back and pick up. I think it's really beautiful, and I can't really believe that I made something that looks quite that, I don't want to say the word professional, because it's still, you know, it's a handmade item which I made myself, and I'm not a professional knitter, but anyway, I'm just really happy with it. Okay, that is everything that I had to talk about in terms of what I'm currently knitting on. I do have a few more things to share with you, and as kids are still being quiet, my older son is also taking a nap right now because he's a bit under the weather. I'm just going to take the chance to show you some of the a couple of things that I was given, and then a couple of acquisitions. So I'm going to try and be quick. The first thing is a glorious thing which I was given, or which my son was given. So the lovely Vikki Bird, who is Vikki Bird Designs on Instagram, asked me if she could make me something for the baby, and if maybe a blanket would be okay, and I said a blanket would be lovely. We don't actually have that many blankets, and so she crocheted up really speedily. Gosh, she is really quick crocheter. This beautiful blanket. The blues never show up quite right here, but they're not that bad. So we have sort of a variegated blue, and then this sort of tealy blue and a navy blue. So just keep pulling it up. And this is all made out of Patterns Extra Fine Merino DK, which is 100% superwash merino DK. And it's really, really beautiful. I have actually bought this exact yarn before in the past, sorry, this one, to make a baby hat and booties for a friend of mine a few years back. So, funny coincidences. So thank you so much to Vikki for that. We'll be using it pretty much every day. If it's not on him, then it's on my lap to keep me warm while I'm feeding him or something similar. Or one of the kids is stealing it to cuddle up in it. Another beautiful, very unexpected gift that I received, and I hope that Helena won't mind me sharing this here, but Helena, who is Edelweiss Knits on Instagram, and she has the Etsy shop Edelweiss Blossoms, where she sells beautiful handmade and hand embroidered project bags and a few other items, but particularly her beautiful bags. She made me a bag, and it's glorious. It is an incredibly generous size. I'm not sure if you can tell there, but it's much, as Amy would say, Amy is trying to Dyeworks, is it's bigger than my head. I mean, my head would fit in here twice. It's thoroughly a sweater size bag. It has this beautiful, beautiful colour woven fabric for the for this bottom part, and in a natural tone for the top. She has made these 3 hearts to represent my 3 children, and these are all Liberty fabrics, and she didn't know, but I actually have an entire sewing set from Liberty's, which is made in this exact Liberty fabric, Liberty print. I don't think I've told her that. And then you can see her beautiful, delicate hand embroidery that she's done there, all around. Then she has her tag here on the back, which says Edelweiss Blossoms. And she has even, there's 2 pockets on the inside, which use this lovely blue fabric and is topped with that exact Liberty fabric. She also gave me some little stitch markers in, again, this blue. I think she knows me. She knows that I like blue, especially these kinds of blues. There might have also been something sweet in there, which didn't last very long. She even gave gifts for the kids, for my other kids, and she made a beautiful stuffy. Most beautiful. I'm going to have to show it to you next time, because I actually can't find it right now, because I believe my daughter might have hidden it in her bed. So I'm going to need to find that and definitely show that to you next time, because it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, she also embroidered on the inside, like a little dedication for Madeleine, February 2019. So thank you so much, Helena. I hope you can see how beautiful her bags are, and I'm incredibly touched that she made one, especially just for me. Very emotional when I opened that package, which was not expected, and that was not the only thing in that package, as I said. So those are 2 beautiful things that I was very, very generously given after the arrival of our little boy. Something else that I received, but that I ordered, was this really cute little project bag. This is from made by Julie of Suffolk Socks. I saw on her podcast, which is the Way A Let's Knit podcast, that she was making these little project bags, and she was using Harris tweed, and I just thought they looked so cute. I knew they were small, and so they were just for really small 1 skein projects, for making socks or what have you, which is not something that I want to have lots of bags of, because I don't do that many of those kind of projects. But I really liked that she'd made these little embroideries using, they're all a bit different. It's just whatever buttons, she has, and she hand embroiders these, and it's made with Harris tweed. There you can see, and yeah, I just thought I really, really liked them, and when I saw one, I thought I'd love to have one of those. They look really special, so I got myself one of those. May have also ordered a skein of opal sock yarn with it, because once you're ordering from Suffolk Socks, something else has to come. Anyway, I haven't pulled that down to show you. I guess I'll show you that when it gets cast on, which I feel like won't be that long, because it's really beautiful colourway. Then also Helena of Edelweiss Knits was having a destash, so I bought 2 skeins from her and she sent me those, and here they are. I think they're absolutely beautiful. These are 2 skeins of Eden Cottage Yarns. This is the Pendle Aran base, which is 100% superwash merino. It is so soft. I don't know, it's incredibly soft. You would really honestly think that there was cashmere in this yarn. It is ridiculously soft. It is just as soft as this cashmere MCN here. Really beautiful. And this is the colourway Wild Orchid. So she had 2 skeins of this, Aran weight, and I thought, that's just beautiful. I would love to have that. I was wanting a few more either single or double skeins of heavier weight yarns in my stash. To be honest, I would also like some bigger quantities of heavier weight yarns in my stash, but this is an Aran weight, so it's 166 meters for 100 grams, so not a huge amount of yardage because it's a heavier weight yarn. I mean, you could certainly get a hat out of 1 skein, but when I saw that she had 2 skeins of this, I thought that's lovely. Maybe I can make a hat and some mittens with it. There should be enough. Beautiful. We are almost done. I did pick up something rather unexpected, and I'm not going to talk about the project that this is for in detail right now, but I've been wanting to do a project where I'm stranding something with lace weight mohair, and a lot of the sweaters that I've seen, like the no frill sweater, I mean, I wouldn't make the exact no frill sweater because it's not really a style that I would actually like that much, but there are plenty of beautiful sweaters out there which you could choose to make by stranding with mohair, even if they are not designed that way. But when you strand with mohair, it adds a lot of price because if you're using, even if you're not using hand-dyed mohair, it's still, mohair silk lace weight is still not cheap, and you're not just buying all of the mohair yardage which you need, you're also buying the fingering weight yardage or even DK weight yardage to go with that. So you're kind of doubling the cost, certainly in many cases. Anyway, I found somewhere on Etsy, I honestly can't remember, it came from Israel actually, a listing for some Lang lace yarn. So Lang is I think actually Lang is Swiss as a brand. I always thought it was German and someone told me that it's Swiss. It is Swiss. So most of their yarn is made and milled in Italy, but it is a Swiss brand, Lang. And I haven't actually seen this yarn here anywhere for sale, even on like websites when I was looking. I'm sure if I went looking for it specifically, I would find it, but I've never just come across it. So I bought four balls of this olive green colour. It's not quite as, it's coming a bit more grey there. It's less grey than that. It's more green, more olive green. The colourway is 6185. That might be the lot. I think that's a dye lot. I think the colourway is the other number. I think it's this 9220098. This is a 58% mohair, 42% silk. And that is the highest silk content I've ever seen in any lace weight mohair. So in the drummer sheet hat here, this is the Ito Sensei, which is 6040, which is the same as the Shibui knits and the Shibui Silk Cloud. This has 2% more silk and 2% less mohair, which basically means it's even softer. And it is Super Kid mohair. You have 25 grams here, I think. It looks like it must be 25 grams. Yeah, and 310 meters. So here in total, I have a little over 1200 meters, which is definitely enough to make a sweater. And I believe what I'm going to be doing is holding this double with the Rauma Phenol gun, now Phenol PT2, which I have, which is a different shade of green. So I have to swatch to see how they look together. And I'm doing this because I saw a test knit which was done of one of Vera Falamaki's designs, which is a Times Square design, which is a design that she came out with at Vogue Knitting Live with in collaboration with Primrose Yarn Company. It's knit in DK weight yarn, but one of her testers had knit it in a fingering weight held together, I think a single ply merino, held together with a lace mohair, lace weight mohair silk. So I was thinking, I was looking at the gauge and I was thinking that the Phenol gun, which is a sort of heavy fingering weight, plus this, which is quite a fine lace weight, would work as a yarn, and I have enough yardage and it would work for the gauge. So I just need to check out what I need to get gauge and how I like the colours playing together. But yeah, we shall see. It probably won't happen anytime soon, not least because I have other sweaters on the needles and other sweaters which I plan to knit. But it might happen. It might be the next sweater cast on when I finish the Birkin. We shall see. And the final thing which I have to share with you is the January KNITCRATE, which I didn't share with you last time around because I ran out of time. So given I have some time, I thought I would share it with you quickly now. I'm still waiting for February's KNITCRATE. So KNITCRATE have said that hold their hands up is the wrong term because that sort of puts a lot of blame on them. But they had tried a new way of shipping, which was meant to make things smoother and easier and better for them, and it basically resulted in KNITCRATEs being delayed, both in the US and North America, but especially abroad. So I've never got, since they changed their shipping, I basically wouldn't get each month's crate until the very end of the month or the beginning of the following month. But I have understood that from next month, so from March onwards, they've gone back to more previous shipping results, which used to mean I would get mine within a couple of weeks into the month. Anyway, this is the yarn that was in the January club, January membership crate, sorry. It is the Vidilana yarn. This is their ambient worsted. It is a very, very plump. I mean, this I would call, the put up here is 183 meters for 100 grams worsted weight. It's almost it's an Aran for me. This is the colorway Dawn Blush, and it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. So it is a non-superwash yarn, which just has a lovely feel to it. It does not have a prickle to it. It does not feel like buttery soft merino, like this one here, bite to your hands. So it's not super soft, but it doesn't have a prickle. So this is not a colorway that I would normally pick at all. And when I had seen the reveal that they'd shown, I thought, of all those colorways, maybe this one would be best or that one. And when this one came and I opened it, I was really, really pleasantly surprised. It's just got a lovely tonality to it, and I actually really, really like this color. This is the booklet that came with it this time around. I'm wondering if they have a picture here of the color options. So there were two color options this year and this time around. There was this sort of toffee golden color, and then the corally orange pink that I got. And the pattern which came with this is actually, we've got some really lovely texture there. It makes a nice sort of chunky cowl. I think holding the yarn double, to be honest. I think that was the plan here. Yeah, holding this yarn double to make a really super chunky cowl. So I'm not sure exactly what I will be doing with that, but I just remind you that down below this video you can follow a link to KNITCRATE's website. That is an affiliate link. Should you have a problem with affiliate links, then by all means type in KNITCRATE to Google. No problem with that. But we do have, if you use the affiliate link down below, you will also see next to that link that we do have a discount code, and that is Kingfisher20, all capital letters, but number 20. And that gets you 20% off of your first month's membership. Okay, so I'll look forward to showing you some KNITCRATE yarn for February and maybe also March next time around. Okay, we've gotten through everything that I had wanted to show you. I do feel a bit like I rushed, but I told you why. If you do have any questions, by all means, pop them down in the comments box below, or contact me by some other means if you wanted to ask me something that I may have glossed over. And I don't know when I'll next be back. It may be next week, I doubt it. Hopefully it will not be quite so long, but we'll just have to see. So for now, I'm just going to say that I hope everybody has been having a good time where throughout the month of February. February always feels like it flies by. For me, it certainly did, because baby arrived at the beginning of it, and now February's gone. And it feels like I just blinked. So here we've had amazing weather over February. It's been super, super warm, which was great because my parents came over both to meet new baby and to help out with the kids, and they could basically take the kids out every single day It was spring weather, 12 to 15 degrees, sun shining, not a breath of wind. Weather changed yesterday and now it's grey and rainy, but, well, that's to be expected for this time of year. So anyway, I hope you are all well, and I look forward to speaking with you again about all things knitting in the future. Bye!